Hey everyone, Alyse here from TGG Gaming, and we got another deck profile for you guys. It's mine, weird. Got top 32 at YCS Minneapolis that just happened this last weekend. Unfortunately, lost out right away in top 32. Really annoying. Maybe one day I'll break the top 32 curse, but it's okay. Still got to top the hometown YCS and played a deck I really liked, and so it was really nice. Played Tearlaments Danger for the event. It's a really small danger engine, and it's really tier heavy. So the thought process is behind the deck. So it's not my deck, it's Cody Angeloff's deck, who also got 4th place at the event, so deck was pretty nice. We were testing, well, he was testing for like a lot, and leading up to the event, he was playing pistol cards in his deck, which eventually he kind of didn't like them because a lot of the time you need 2 pistols in order to like really make an impact basis, and especially for this event, which kind of has like a varied format in a sense because there's still a lot of deck choices that exist. The pistol cards had a lot of diminishing value against other matchups to the point where they weren't as impactful, and there's still like the clunkiness factor since they're not true good extenders. So the next best option was Dangers, which work really well with the new cards from Darkwing Blast because there's a lot better things that hit off of Dangers now, and your consistency goes up a lot more with the new cards, so there's a lot of really good options that exist for the deck, and yeah, I think it worked out really well. I enjoyed it. Just losses were unfortunate, that's what it is, but we'll just quick get into shoutouts. First shoutout is obviously Cody Angeloff, weird. And then shout out to Ophidian Accessories. Use code Ophidian5 for 5% off your entire purchase for some of the nicest cloth mats on the market for some of the cheapest prices. They did just release a new fabric recently, so make sure you check that out. It's really nice. And shout out to all the people that helped me get cards to the event and lent me cards. Lang, Kyle, Alan, Pack, TGG Gaming, good old Hender right here. Yeah, help me all get cards for the event, make sure I, could play, and also, max out my deck and make it look pretty. And, yeah, and shout out to best head judge, Richard. We love him. Glad he got to head judge this YCS of all of them. And then, shout out to, the entire barbershop, mainly, like, Jibriel and, Lundredy. Jib knocked me out of Top Cut, but, like, he helped me, like, get an understanding of this format really well, like, when we started testing, so really appreciate his help, and Lund is always a huge help. And then shout out to my girlfriend Brooke, she's amazing. Yeah, let's just get into it then. So maxed out all the tier names. Weird, we've never seen this happen ever before in our entire lives, but if you don't do this, I think you're crazy. Then, like I said, we are playing the small danger engine, so 3 Nessie, 1 Jackalope, 1 Tsuchinoko, and 1 Bigfoot. Like I said, I think their functionality as like extenders is really important because this version of the deck focuses a lot on like, not like heavy focus, but it opens up a lot of curious lines that exist with like Heartbeat to send a trap if you mill a trap, and then add it back, and then like sending Scream or just sending whatever you need, because like if you end on double trap, you just are in like an insane advantage position. So I think it just ends up being way too good to like not be like ending your board insane. Like dangers are fine going second. There aren't any level 4 dangers that we play just because like they're kind of bad, but we do play another really good level 4 extender, which is good old Night Sword Serpent. So when it sends a grade by card effect, you just summon it back and it banishes itself when it leaves the field, but you always just use it for XYZ material. So you obviously can make Dweller, and then the big one is Bahamut, which is what we make blind. And yeah, it triggers off of Sheeran, triggers off of any of your mills, so like it's really easy to access, really easy to like take advantage of, and like you can always like Curious send it if you really need to, but just one of is really nice and it worked out well. That's it for the monsters. I'll get into why I know hand traps in a minute, but we'll go to spells with 3 planet and 1 terraforming, and then the new cards, 3 Scream and 1 Heartbeat. So Scream literally changes the entire deck and how you look at it. This card is so fucking insane. Like, I want to see at least 1 in every one of my hands. If I see 2, it just means I can revive Rhino and guarantee a trap. And sometimes off of like the Kalos, you don't even need to search for like a trap anymore, and you can just focus more on like making a bigger board and like ending really well. And then so I don't know, cards are just insane. Also the -500 comes up so much. The Heartbeat, it's mainly used because when you send it to grave by card effects, you can add back a trap from grave to hand, which like I said, comes up if you like Sullick gets sent to grave, and then you add it back, and then you can use like the Scream or your Kalos to add the Crime. So you easily end on double trap, and also just gives you a main deck mine out, and like just helps deal some problematic threats. It comes up a couple times here and there just to have the one of, but I think it worked out. But yeah, Scream's insane. I don't understand why anyone would rather run, like, wouldn't run 3. The card's just too good. And like I said earlier, we don't play hand traps, but we do play some board breakers. So there's 3 Super Volley, 3 Dark Ruler. So it's kind of like the same thought process from the Danger Tier deck from last format. Super Volley is just the best thing to deal with Dweller, unfortunately. And then Dark Ruler kind of just deals with like everything in general besides the Tier Mirror. So I think with the deck how it is, it's kind of catered enough to beat Tier, and just having the 1 card focus for the other matchups is really nice. It could have been Droplet, but just setting too many cards is like not beneficial for you. Yeah, just losing that advantage is not very fun. So yeah. And then
what did you think of the people that were running Grief?
Grief? I think it's fine. I just don't know if we really would have had the room for it. I think in order to really utilize it best, I think you want to run Visas, but I mean, I can't comment on like Chris's list because I haven't like played it myself yet. So I'm just thinking on a theory basis of how like initially see the card, but there probably is a bunch of merit to it, but I can't say for sure, and I'm not gonna act like I know anything about the card that well or like how it interacts. So just, it seems like it could be decent, but you have to cater your deck building around to it a bit, and I don't think it was like necessarily the right choice for this specific list. So
sure.
But for the rest of the spells, got 1 Instant, 1 Foolish, 1 Called By, and 1 Upstart. Playing 39 cards is nice, apparently. Usually, I try to always, because like Cody always sends lists with Upstart, and I always try to cut this for something, but this is like the one list where I actually felt like I was okay playing Upstart, because nothing else felt necessary. Like, you fit like almost everything you need. And then for the traps, got the 2 Sullick and the 1 Crime. Crime is main deckable now because it's like so easily searchable, and like, especially with the Bistids, just getting this engraved to add back a tier for follow-up is really nice, and obviously double Sullick is really good. So yeah, that's it for the main deck, and you like easily end on double trap like almost every game. If you end on double trap, you should be winning, so like why not focus on that? But for the extra deck, we only play 1 Kit Kalos, so we just needed room for other things. Like, every card in the extra deck came up to some certain degree, and there are times where I wanted the second Kalos, but usually I could always find another line to make sure I could either keep recycling it or make it so it'd be like usable again, or just find other lines. It usually could find a way, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I wish we could have played the second, but it was fine. And yeah, and then the 1 Root Kalos and the 1 Kaleido card's pretty nice, I guess. And then for the rest of the fusions, Garura, Mudragon, and Dragostapelia. I think that's pretty standard. And then for links, the 1 Elf, 1 Sprint, Dark, Curious, Apo, and Underworld Goddess. So, like I said, because we play the Dangers, Curious becomes a lot more viable now, and it just works so well in tandem with like all the new cards and just how this card exists. I don't know, it's just really nice. And since you're playing Curious, you want the easy bridge, or you have the easy bridge to Apo, so you might as well just play it. It did come up a couple times. Like, I feel like it would have been the most cuttable card in the extra, but I think it still just has enough of an impact basis that it's worth it. And then the 1 Underworld Goddess, just because like everyone's playing, there's a lot of Sprite that exists, and like even just outing like the opponent's tier monsters with it feels really nice, because like a lot of the time it's really easy to get to a board where you make it, and then you still have plays of summon more monsters and go for game, or just take control of the game state. So like, I think it's still really good to have, and like it has enough impact that I think it was worth it. And then for the last cards, we got the XYZs, the Dweller, Bahamut, and Toad. So fun fact about Toad now, Toad's easier to protect because Root Kalos protects it by battle, which is really cool. So like, it's a lot harder for them to out the Toad, and then like blind, this is what we make, just because it does more against more matchups. And even if you like go double trap and like set up the rest of your board with Toad, you still should beat the tier mirror for the most part. Like, if they just open Godly, they open Godly. Like, what can you do about that? But I think these cards are all really good. Obviously, Dweller's too insane, but yeah.
Anyone try to attack into this?
I don't think it happened this weekend really, maybe like once, but because a lot of the times like I didn't like they would super poly or like find other ways to get rid of Kalos first, but it didn't really come up that much, but maybe came up once or twice. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. So the side deck got 2 sphere mode, only had room for 2. It was either play the 3rd of this or the 3rd Mystic Mine. I wish it was 3rd this, but I don't think it made a difference. And then the Skullmark Ladybug, we love time. And then 3 Mystic Mine. Every time both me and Cody activated this card, we lost the game. It just, I don't know, for some reason, whenever we activated mine, we just had instead of drawing useful cards to like, you know, because the point of mine is not to deck them out, it's to like establish enough resources to then be able to like outright kill them, but I just kept drawing board breakers whenever I drew mine and just couldn't like establish enough to where it was useful to like win. So I don't know, I wish it was the 3rd sphere mode, but I think it's fine in theory of like you playing no hand traps and just board breakers. So but oops. And then for the back removal, double Cosmic and 1 Duster and 3 Evenly. So this was originally a 3rd Cosmic, but just having the blowout, especially against like Runic, Sprite, and like just other random matchups, just felt really nice to have on, like, just to be on the safe side. And then Evenly is good against everything. And last card in the side deck is a Floodgate, Skill Drain. So Cody wanted a Floodgate in his deck, and Eradicator is kind of like almost not playable in this version. I mean, it's still playable, obviously, but it's not as impactful. Jesus. It's not as impactful in this version because we're not playing the Pistols, which are like the easiest Erad targets on the planet. So finding another good Floodgate that synergizes the deck was like, you know, something he wanted to do, and Skill Drain just fit the bill because you can clear it really easily, and then just like all your guys are big, so it's easy to hit over stuff. It's for everything except for the Tier Mirror, because honestly, if you set up properly, then you shouldn't be losing the Tier Mirror. So it's good for everything else. I think I only saw it once or twice, and Cody like never saw it, so or he did and he lost. I don't know, but yeah, that is it for the deck profile. Like I said, I really enjoyed the deck. It was nice to get the hometown YCS top, but yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.